It's all the things you never show. They're all the things I want to know.
Yeah, so because I'm here with Grace today, I want to talk about as many things as I can with her. Grace, I was so excited when you wrote your book because I wrote my first book on Scars Become Stars when I was 25. And so seeing your book, then she cried, and then she cried. And the fact that you wrote it at 25, I felt like, oh my goodness, that our connection is like really is deep. It's serious.
Yeah.
We have serious connection. So, Grace, you're 25.
Yes, I am.
Yes, you are. I remember myself at 25. Oh my gosh. And this dating space, and especially after having gone through what you went through, how has it been like? And what has that informed you about men? And yeah.
Yeah, I think fear. There's a lot of fear about men that maybe wasn't there before.
Right.
And I haven't always, I guess I would say my healing journey when hasn't always looked like looking for healthy relationships.
Say that again.
My healing journey hasn't always looked like looking for healthy relationships. I think I always wanted a healthy relationship.
Right.
That's what
Right.
everyone wants subconsciously. But when you have experienced abuse and you haven't healed,
Right.
it's really easy to internalize that abuse and recreate or look for situations where that environment feels normal. And so I have put myself in situations that haven't always been the safest with men.
Right.
Since
Because your normal was introduced in an abnormal way, so the abnormal became kind of normal to you.
yeah, and none of this is subconscious. This is all, research shows that trauma victims will try and recreate their trauma in order to gain some sense of control. So I was sexually assaulted, maybe the next sexual experience I have isn't a positive one, but at least I chose to put myself in it.
So you feel like I'm in control, like I'm not that weak person that put myself that was like taken advantage of. Now this is me in charge.
Yeah. And I think for me, some of it has looked like thinking, well, if God doesn't care about my safety, then do I need to care about my safety?
Right.
And, we kind of addressed God caring about us in our other video. But the truth is that in some ways, I think my heart doesn't know how to protect itself. Or it's looking for protection in the wrong places sometimes.
Yeah. Your heart doesn't know how to protect itself.
Yeah.
So what does someone do to like develop that and to make their heart protect them? Like what are the steps? Are there steps to take to do that? What do you do?
Yeah, I think getting your voice back is a huge part. And, we talked about that in our last video.
Getting your voice
but
back.
Getting your voice back, if I have my voice, I can communicate my values in a relationship.
Oh, wow.
And maybe, actually, that's not the first step. I'm going to go back.
But that's a good one. Let's take that. If you have your voice, then you are able to communicate your values.
Yeah. But do you know what your values are?
Do you know what your values are?
That's the first step.
Okay. So the first step is knowing your values.
Yeah, knowing what am I actually looking for in a relationship moving forward. What will I not stand for?
Yeah.
What are my red flags?
Yeah. But Grace, do you think like someone who has values can be violated and in the process lose their voice?
Yes.
And what does that look like?
I mean, I would say I mean, I have values now, but I would say that I
So you
had,
have values now? You didn't have then?
no, I did have values
Okay.
before I
Mm-hmm.
was assaulted. But I think they just got fuzzy after, um, and I don't really know how to describe it.
That is a trigger for me. That is a trigger for me, honestly.
Yeah.
Because as much as I haven't gone through like sexual abuse, there's abuse that I've gone through that reduced me, like to not, you know. There's abuse I've gone through that made me feel this small, and I I was surviving, you know, and I looked like I was thriving, but I think I was still running on empty until I dried up and I couldn't like run again. And I've said many times like it showed in my body where my body was just keeping the scars, like I mean from many years of abuse, and I lost myself. Like sometimes I look at some videos that I've done in the past, like maybe some interviews, and I'm like, where is this girl? Like where? Like this is not the girl that is now, and not in a bad way, but I've definitely morphed into different things. And I was asking myself the other day, what have I become or who have I become? And would I want to be the person that I was in the past? And I'm like, no, I wouldn't want to, because that version of me, I mean, I've shared that version of me, and I have to embrace this new version of me and this new person that I've become. And I think if I was to be born again, reborn, I would want to come back in this space, knowing what I know, having experienced what I have experienced, and having the values that I now have. You know, yeah,
Yeah. I think that's a very good point that you bring up, that our experiences change us and they can change our values
exactly,
and they can change our voice.
exactly,
And there's a difference between your experience shaping who you are meant to be
exactly.
and your experience shutting you down.
I like that.
And I think that um, for me, I also like I wouldn't change what has happened to me. As horrible as it has been,
Right,
I wouldn't change it because it has made me who I am
right,
today.
right,
I'm a person who cares about justice and people's voices,
right.
and
Than you did before.
yeah, so much more than I did before.
Right, right, right. And I mean, like, when I go again to like values and the values that I have now, and how I've been shaped with these new values. Honestly, Grace, there's a way I used to die for people that I'll never die for again, because I think I assumed the Jesus position, and I'm not Jesus, and I can never take Jesus' place. And there's a way I used to bend backwards that I cannot bend again. There's a way I used to say yes to everything that I can no longer say yes to. You know, now I know how to keep my boundaries.
Yeah.
Now I know how to say a no and give no explanation for my no.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like I've become a very different person, and in a very, very healthy way. Just imagining that I've lived a whole life living for people who could never live for me. And those are some of the things that I'm like, okay, I've learned so much in this past years of my life. My pain, the process that I've been through has like really shaped me into a woman that I wouldn't have never thought I would become. Grace, like knowing that I do not have emotional bandwidth for something. I thought I was supposed to take everything. I thought I was supposed to be there for everyone. I thought I was supposed to feel everything that everyone is going through. I'm still an empath, but I'm a very empowered empath. I'll feel your pain, but honestly, I know when to say stop. No, I know when to say like I want to take care of myself. post-traumatic growth.
Yeah. I'm glad that you said I'm still an empath,
Yes.
but that you have boundaries now.
Yes.
Everyone can have boundaries.
Right.
Everyone should have boundaries.
Right.
And setting healthy boundaries is an important step in healing
Yeah.
and not recreating abuse in
Right.
new relationships.
Right. So values,
Voice?
what else? VV, is that planned?
No.
Okay, the point in you. Okay, what else?
I think having grace for yourself.
Having grace for yourself. What does that mean?
I think that if and when you make mistakes in setting your boundaries and using your voice and following your values, that you remember that you are loved and that you are more than the worst thing that happened to you.
You are more than the worst thing that happened to you.
Yeah, there's
That's
a little letter to my younger self in my book, and it says something along the lines of, "You will rise again someday. You will feel strong." I don't remember it all, but the last verses, "And you will know that you are worth more than the worst thing that has happened to you."
Wow. That's beautiful. You are more than the worst thing that happened to you. So Grace, like, what would you tell these young people? The young people that are watching you when it comes to relationships, like, I mean, so what to do? What are you doing yourself to make sure that, like, you get, did I just say, are you single? Just to get into a healthy relationship. I mean, yeah. So what are you doing to get, so that you, like, relate in a healthy way?
Yeah. Part of this process for me is really venting people before I get into a relationship with them, and knowing I want to know them well, and I want my people to know them well.
How well is knowing someone? How well?
I think.
How long? And I mean, what do you mean how well? Like, I could talk about that a lot when it comes to
I
knowing
don't
someone
think
well.
there's any hard and fast rules, because you and I both know that you can really think you know someone
Until you know them.
until you know them. And so I think try not to lose yourself in the process. When you in those first few steps, when you're in a relationship and you're excited and giddy about it, don't lose yourself. Don't lose your values. Don't lose your voice. And if you need to bring other people into that relationship to help keep you grounded, then do that. Bring your friends in. Bring your family in.
Right. And like for me, like, healing is paramount. Like, I mean, top on the list, healing. But how do you know that you've healed? Like, how do you know that I mean, I know you said it's a process, and I mean, therapy is part of the process, but how do you know that now I'm healed enough to get into a relationship?
I don't think there is an easy answer for that. And I think it's different for every person, because for some people, they heal. I mean, everyone heals differently, and in community, I would say. You can't heal by yourself.
Oh, wow.
And so getting in a positive relationship could be a part of your healing journey.
Wow.
Right?
Okay.
So I'm not going to give any hard and fast rules about that one.
Fine. Yeah.
Yeah. I think for me, a lot of it has been about knowing my worth.
Yeah.
And if I know my worth and know that what I deserve, then I feel more confident entering into pursuing a relationship.
Yeah. And that line that you said, you are worth more than the worst thing that happened to you.
Yes.
I think that's that right there. So it doesn't matter what has happened to you. It doesn't matter, like, the kind of abuse that you've gone through. Like Tema again, someone took away your virginity, someone took away your purity, someone violated you. You know, you're still worth more than.
You're not a
More than
desolate woman.
You are not a desolate woman. Yeah, that's in our previous video, right? Yeah, you're not a desolate woman. So, and you're not a desolate man. Do you have men who are desolate? Do you have men who live in the
In
same?
desolation,
Yeah,
yeah. I
yeah.
mean, abuse can happen to anyone,
Right, right,
and desolation can happen to
right,
anyone.
right. Yeah. Anything else you would want to add, Grace?
I think so. I'm just so grateful to be here with you today.
Yeah, oh my God, I'm so excited. Thank you, Grace, for being here. I hope you've learned something. I hope I said that you don't have to go through your experience to learn. I love to say that experience is the best teacher. But why go through your own experience if you can learn from other people's experience? You know that, I mean, getting into a relationship when you're like hurting, when you have not healed from like past traumas, can be a deal breaker. Why not heal? Why not like do the necessary before you get into that relationship so that you don't make bad mistakes that are gonna cost you so much? Yeah.
Yeah. And I will just say, if you are interested in checking out my book, it is on
Go to
Amazon.
Amazon, Grace and Ricken,
Grace Ann Riken. And
then she cried.
and there's a digital version too. So
Yeah, yeah. Please get your book. Get a copy of your book. And for me, honestly, this book is such an encouragement for me. You know why? Because you said it. You just said it, Grace. And on your 25th birthday, you give yourself a gift of a book. And I mean, for me, it was the book in itself, but it was in the fact that you did it, the number of people that want to do something and they just stop themselves because of procrastination, because of feeling okay, it's not enough. I think for me, this is your book is like is such a victory because of the many hurdles you've gone through, and because of challenging yourself enough to give yourself a gift on your birthday.
yeah. Yeah, it definitely shows that I love myself more than I did at some points
Yeah,
in my
right.
life.
I agree. Please check out for And Then You Cried, and Then She Cried by Grace Ann Riken. Yeah. How do you say bye? You made me become so polite. You're very graceful. Grace just sits here and talks like that. Grace, and we've just been here talking like this softly because Grace talks like that, loud. But Grace, I should have actually said thank you, like for holding my hand all through grad school. Like you were there for me from day one. From day one, it's so interesting. You're the first person I saw. Did I ever tell you that? You're the first person I
No.
saw. That time you had very long hair, and I remember you bought me a cup written. That time I was feeling so discouraged. I was feeling like I want to quit grad school, and you bought me a cup, a mug written.
Yeah.
Can you remember?
Did it say you got this?
It said you got this, and you kept telling me. I mean, and anytime I say you got this, I always remember you. And of course, your story has been so impactful in my life, and how you interact with so many. Like, I think I would call you like an international student ambassador. Like how you embrace everyone, how you, I mean, you've been amazing, amazing, amazing. Yeah, and how you've held your story in grace, just like your name, is also so amazing. So I really, really appreciate you. And like you said in the first video, like you had nowhere else to go, and that's why you stayed in Christ. And I would honestly say it's the same for me. I would have let go of God because he never let go of me, but I would have let go of him. But I did not know, I couldn't, because like, and then what? Yeah, and then what? So I had a very small gift for you. I don't know what this means for you. Maybe I don't want to bring out my bag. Maybe you can just pull it.
Just pull it out.
Yeah, maybe just pull it out of there.
Aww.
Well, tell me about that.
So this is Jesus saying, I saw that.
And when you talked about like God is not the man that hurt you.
Mm.
And I saw this picture. I just saw what you believe in,
Yeah.
that he saw that. He might not have stopped it,
Yeah.
but he saw that.
Yeah. He saw that
He saw
and it
that.
hurt him.
And it hurt him, Grace. I know, he saw that and it hurt him. Yeah.
It makes me think of Hagar's story in the Bible and the name that Hagar gives to God is the God who sees.
The
He's
God who says, the God who says. He might look like he's quiet. You know, his silence sometimes depicts to us a picture of a God that is not seeing, but he saw that. And I know, even in my situation and in any other person's situation, you might not think that God is seeing, but listen, he saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I love you.
I love you too.
Yeah. Alrighty, bye.
It's all the